chorded characteristics are evident in both the cartilaginous and bony fish. So, the chorded characteristics that are evident in both the cartilaginous and bony fish are that both of them have jaws. The cartilaginous fish have jaws and some bony fish also have jaws. The jaws represent a significant adaptation in vertebrate evolution, and jaw structures are believed to have evolved from the jaw supports of early animals. Also, jaws allow the vertebrates to use larger prey and become much more efficient for predators. So that was a very important evolutive characteristics, and bony fish and cartilaginous fish have them. Question number 2. What structures are evident in bony fish but are lacking in cartilaginous fish? So the structure that is evident in bony fish is that the skeleton is made out of bone, while the cartilaginous fish, the skeleton of cartilaginous fish, is made out mostly of cartilage. So the bone skeleton is evident in bony fish, but it is lacking in cartilaginous fish.
Question 3. Describe the anatomical differences between Necturus and the frog. How do these differences relate to the life cycle of these amphibians? There are some differences between the frog and the Necturus. First of all, the Necturus only lives underwater, in comparison to the frog that lives in water and also inland. These differences affect the cycle of life of an adult frog and a Necturus. The frog grows up in the water and reproduces in the water, and then as they are adults they develop lungs and also gills to breathe underwater and outside of the water, as well as developing skin properties that allow them to breathe underwater and outside of the water. On the other hand, Necturus always lives underwater, which can help them to reproduce more and not develop those properties that frogs have, not able to live underwater and outside of the water at the same time. The fourth question is, what characteristics allow reptiles to be successful on dry land? The evolution of animals, and in this case reptiles, affect that these species can survive on land. There are different characteristics that help and allow this type of animals to survive and have a life inland. Their scaly skin helps them to live daily in hard conditions and in hard weathers, like sand in the deserts or waters in a moist environment. Their skin and sometimes fur can sometimes distract bugs and predators. Also, their characteristics can help them to connect with the different types of environments. Some of the respiration in amphibians occur in the skin. Their teeth help them to eat meat and other types of food. They help them to rip apart and crush their food when it is needed. Also, their cold-blooded systems help them to conserve their energy in an everyday routine, since reptiles have at least to non-function to maintain their body in a perfect climate. Reptiles can conserve that energy from other things, like search for food. These characteristics helps reptiles to be more efficient in different environments. Another characteristic is that most reptiles are tetrapods, meaning that they have 4 limbs. The ability of having 4 limbs helps the reptiles to swim or walk whenever they need to. This characteristic helps amphibians to generate a transition from aquatic life cycle to a terrestrial one.
Okay. Question number 5. What are the characteristics of the circulatory system are similar in the pigeon and the rat? Okay, starting, both pigeon and rat have 4-chamber hearth, and both use the same process to have an efficient circulatory system. Both have 2 atria and 2 ventricles. This makes that the blood have 2 pathways. In both, the right atrium receives desoxygenated blood from the body, and the left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the lungs. When the atria is contract, blood is entering to the ventricles, oxygenated blood by the left ventricle and desoxygenated to the right ventricle, forcing blood out of the heart. Um, from the left ventricle sends blood to the body and the right ventricle to the lungs. Having desoxygenated and oxygenated blood separated, making more efficient the circulatory system and also creating homeostasis in the system. So the pigeon and the rat have practically the same structure and process to have a better circulatory system and to have homeostasis in their system.
Question number 6. How is the respiratory system of the pigeon more efficient than that of the rat? The respiratory system of the birds is much more efficient than the rats because they have a very developed lung system that works as air sacs to allow more efficient gas exchange and gas handling. The heart has 4 chambers that is very useful to differentiate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to be delivered to the different organs in the body. Finally, birds are also endotherms, meaning that they can maintain a constant body temperature. This means that birds have a way more advanced respiratory system than rats because they can handle gas and blood in a much more efficient and fast way to make it better and more advanced and also more useful to the bodies.